Welcome to the Undrafted Armchair Quarterbacks. We're Jim and Joe, lifelong friends, lifelong fans, bringing you fan-driven sports talk the way real fans do. No overpaid experts, no scripted analysis, just honest takes on the game's players and the big stories shaping sports right now.
Thank you, Joe. That's right. 100% right. And we want you to be a part of it too. Drop your comments, questions, and takes. We'll read them all and bring them into future shows. Please hit like, subscribe, and join our conversations every week for free right here on YouTube, Spotify, and wherever you listen, TikTok, Instagram. What's going on? Good morning, Joe.
Wow, that's a long list. It's getting
Yeah.
longer every day. I love it.
Yep. And I'm ready to roll. Thursday.
It's a rainy Thursday. Big storms came through last night. I know some of the country got really hammered. Seriously, prayers to everyone out there. I know up in the Midwest, as usual, they got some really bad storms.
Yeah, that's a little front coming through as you travel down to Ponte today, but that's all supposed to clear out and not really a whole lot of cold air behind it. I suppose you're going to have a lot of fun this weekend at the TPC, aren't you?
Yeah, we're heading down. I'm picking up my son Teddy. We're going to head on down today. We're going to play golf tomorrow with my father-in-law at the original TPC, Sawgrass Country Club. It moved across the street to today's venue back in, I think, '86. But it's kind of cool to walk around the clubhouse at Sawgrass Country Club because there's the pictures of the winners over the years before that move. And you've got, Trevino and Nicholas and Palmer and, fill in the blank. So, yeah, it reminds you how prestigious this tournament's been, the fifth major. It's been that way for a long, long time.
And speaking of Teddy, thank you very much to him for joining us and bringing in his expertise on our last podcast. It
Yeah,
was
that was
great.
fun.
A
That
lot
was
of
fun.
compliments from some of our viewers and listeners saying what an impressive young man your son is. And he's coming back. He'll be on again. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, he definitely enlightened me on a lot going on in the basketball world. That's definitely his wheelhouse.
Hmm.
So yeah, as the NCAA tournament gets heated up, we'll definitely have him back for sure.
Yep. Sounds good, man. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Listen, we'll talk about golf a little bit. I mean, it's just getting started today, so we can kind of pin that aside.
Yep.
The weather's pretty nasty down there this morning, but looks like it's going to shape up to be a good weekend. So we'll keep an eye on the leaderboard down at TPC Sawgrass. In the meantime, the World Baseball Classic. Wow. USA lucky as fill in the blank on that one.
And thank you, Italy.
Yeah. Thank you. What do they have in the dugout?
Oh,
Not
the espresso bar.
Thank you, Italian espresso. We appreciate it.
My cousin Fred said that if the USA goes on to win, the MLB should make it a rule to install an espresso bar in
Hey,
all the MLB dugouts as a thank you for Italy for keeping us in it.
yeah.
So,
Well, let me tell you, that's not a bad idea, and I'll tell you who should have the first shot of it is USA manager, De Rosa, who going into the Italy game after a great win against Mexico, uh, decides, not decides, thinks that we've already clinched. So, thinking that we've already clinched, he puts out the lineup card against Italy with a bunch of substitutes, backups, whatever, non starters, thinking, hey, let's rest these guys since we're already in. Well, I got the reason he needs coffee is I got some bad news. We weren't already in. So that is just unexcusable, inexcusable, unacceptable.
yeah, fill in the blank again.
Yeah. No, I mean, seriously, that's unbelievable. I mean, how
Well,
can you? I know there's crazy rules, but that's not a rule. You can easily, you can Google it.
Yeah, it was quite a brain teaser last night trying to figure out those rules. Teams advancing to the quarterfinal rules. Like with last night's game of Italy versus Mexico, if Italy scores 4 runs or less, the USA loses and they have to go home with no dinner.
Ah,
Um,
ah,
and then
good.
if Italy scores 5 runs or more, the USA team advances. So thank you again, Italy. And they get Olive Garden to go, compliments of Team Italy or something. I mean, that's on the small print on the rules.
Yeah.
But
Well, it is. It was kind of weird. I was watching how does USA get in, and it was like, well, Italy needs to win, so of course I'm rooting big for Italy. But Mexico could win, but if they do win, they can't score more than 4 runs, and you're like, because you're right. That is, I mean, runs and offense or points scored or points against are used in tiebreakers when you get past head to head common opponents. Down the row there. But that was pretty, right up there in your face. Like, wow, that was a pretty strange, tiebreaker to have right in that. That was more shocking and kind of more weird than the ACC football's conference tiebreaker system. So that's how bad it was.
that's for sure. And
I
he,
know.
if you and I could propose rule changes, there's a couple of them here which I find very very interesting, and we're asking our listeners too. Um, would you remove the ghost runner? Would you expand the pitch limits? Would you simplify tiebreakers? Yes, because that's what we're talking about. And you and I have talked about this, make citizenship stricter. Because all in all, Italy's team last night, we'll start with the make citizenship stricter.
Yeah,
Italy's team is full of American born players.
it is.
So I'm thinking out of those four, remove the ghost runner. Of course, I've never liked it to start off extra innings anyway. Pitch limits, I understand because you brought that up the other day. Pitch limits are important because this is early spring training. And we
Right.
even talked about why is the WBC even being played in the spring.
Yep.
Simplified tiebreakers, yes, I think that's hot on the list, but I'd like to see them try to make citizenship a little more strict.
Yeah, it's a tough one because you want to have a world baseball classic, right?
Right.
And unfortunately, I think a lot of teams like, Italy, others probably couldn't field a really good team, a competitive team without, laxing the rules a little bit to get, more, I don't want to say US players, but let's face it, major leagues, is the biggest pool to pull from. Because if you tighten those up, then Italy might not be competitive. I'm not saying that's a good example right now because they're certainly competitive. Hell, they may win the whole thing, but yeah, it's a tough one because otherwise you can have, a kind of a world baseball classic because you really have 4 or 5 competitive teams, Japan, US, Mexico, or Dominican, whatever. So I don't know. It's a tough one. As far as your other things go, yeah. I don't know if I like the runner starting on second base and extra innings or not. I don't know. There's been a lot of things thrown out there to kind of shorten the game or make at least extra innings more exciting. You're looking at some college games going into 17th, 18th innings. I think that as a traditionalist, that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the old days? You see the stadiums. People are like 21st inning. The White Sox. They go to like 20 innings. It's like 4 a.m. and there's still 600 people scattered in the stadium. Like, wow, that's dedication.
And it would be in Cleveland and Bill Veck. It was free beer night.
Yeah, yeah,
So
exactly, exactly.
the fans that were still there
Yeah,
were already asleep.
you're
You know,
trashed. Yeah, public transportation's closed. Dang, sleeping in the stadium.
asleep at the stadium. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I kind of like that the World Baseball Classic's a little different. The pitch count makes sense. I don't think 95 for a starting pitcher is very limiting. I mean, I don't know. I don't have it in front of me. I'm not an expert, but how many? how many pitchers, I mean, in the World Series, how many pitchers really go, into the hundreds in pitch counts? I'm sure there's some, but in today's modern baseball, it's very rare a pitcher would go that far, anyways. So I don't think 95 is very limiting. Now, 65 in the early games, especially when the early games matter. You only got you're only playing 4 games, so every one matters a lot. That's a pretty limiting pitch count, 65.
Yeah, and
Not to
it's
mention the mandatory rest.
that too. And 65 is just for pool play, which looks like that's done. I'm not an expert either,
Yep,
because I know there's games overseas, but I think that
yep,
they're ahead of us, so I think we're all set for the quarterfinals. And
we
now
are.
it's and then it changes, as you mentioned on a previous podcast a couple shows ago, that it goes to 80 pitches, and then when they finally get to the semifinals, it goes to 95 pitches. Well, that does sound like a spring training schedule for a lot of
Yeah,
the starters. If they
yeah,
start going 6 and 7, they're going to start getting sometimes up into the 80s and 90s. So I get
100%.
it.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
Managers,
that has the Major League Baseball's thumbprint all over it.
yeah,
That rule. In order for us to play or have you know these top pitchers participate, here's some rules. You know what I mean? So we know that's where it came from. Again, I get it. I see why.
me too. And even last night, I texted you, and I was just like, "Is this really a World Baseball Classic, or should we just call it?" It's my opinion. Is it just a tournament?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, there could be so many changes that can make it so much better. I like my idea a couple shows ago where I said, "Why don't they do this at the end of the baseball season?"
yeah,
That timeline, it can be done in warm weather climes easily,
yeah. Well, you got domes.
and
You
you
can
have
work
dome
around that.
stadiums.
Yeah.
That's right.
Uh, you know, you also have football going on, and I mean, I don't. I think I don't have a problem with really the timing, and the rules don't seem to be too limiting. I've got a bigger question, and I'm not questioning anyone's patriotism. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Why does it kind of seem that other countries, when wearing something on their front of their jersey that's a country, it just seems like there's no lack of passion. There's no lack of dedication. And I'm not saying the USA doesn't have passion and dedication. Please believe me, I'm not saying that.
Right.
But it just seems like when there's these, you know, classics or tournaments or things that involve multiple countries, it just seems like we should talent wise do better. And I'm just wondering if maybe there's not enough some motivation or different motivation going on versus I don't know. I'm watching the Italians. I'm watching the Mexico teams. I don't know. They just seem and maybe underdogs just try harder. That's probably true too.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I
So
I I think you just hit it at the very end there. The underdogs do try harder, and they want to beat the USA.
100. Yeah,
And I think personally that when if it were you or I and we got to go out there and play and we put on a United States uniform
oh yeah,
and here you are, you have served in our military. Hoorah.
hoorah.
Wouldn't I don't know. I'd like to walk up to Paul Skeens right now and
Yeah.
ask him, "Are you proud to play for the USA?" I bet you
Nope.
$100 he would say,
There's
"Hell yeah."
there's no question, and I agree. I certainly wasn't insinuating the
No,
lack of patriotism or pride.
no, you said that.
I was trying to put my thumb on why it looks like other countries in these formats, fill in the blank, just seem to. I don't know. It just looks like they have more passion for the game. And you're right. Beating the mighty USA is probably just like if you're on top of the college football world, you're going to get everybody's best. Ohio
Yeah,
State gets everybody's best, and that kind of thing. Um, so yeah, I mean, Italy really is making that kind of more apparent to me. You watch them play and the way they kiss each other in the dugout. Mom, good triple. It's unbelievable.
It's because
Coffee spilling everywhere. Coffee stains. Maybe that could be Copenhagen stains. I don't know. Don't leave your Copenhagen spit cup next to the espresso machine. We had a rule in the Marine Corps. You don't ever leave your spit cup laying around. It could get nasty.
well, I think I know what their secret is. And the other countries, yes, you hit it before, is they're really motivated to beat the U.S. But I
Yep.
think Italy, a little extra pinch, somebody is spiking the espresso bar,
Mm,
and that's why they're playing better.
wow. Spiking it with. Uh,
Diet Cokes.
yeah. Well, that explains that. It's probably a Diet Coke stain then on their uniforms. But hey, all I know is it's been pretty exciting so far. We lucked our way into the quarters, which start tomorrow. So today's a day off. We play Canada tomorrow at 8. So looking forward to that. And of
And
course,
then that's
it, is Italy the team to beat, or is Japan the team to beat? I don't know.
all I know is as we're leading into this, we're starting to hint about, other teams coming after us. I got a question for you. Canada's next, right? What just happened a couple of weeks ago, a month ago now, in the Olympics? Not only
Yeah,
the men's and the women's.
yeah.
Is Canada going to be super motivated to kick our butts on the
Um,
diamond because of what happened on the ice?
yes, they will. Probably like other countries, like Italy, probably not completely a Canadian national team, but yeah, they'll be the country, the fans, they'll be rooting hard for Canada to, you know, kick us out of this thing for sure.
And they'll have what will they have in their dugout? A little back bacon, eh? Beer,
Molson's, eh? Molson.
beer,
Yeah. We'll
Molson
have
Golden.
Molson. What, Moosehead. Moosehead beer, eh? Yeah.
Oh man.
Remember Moosehead? That just popped into my head. Literally, I saw the bottle. I think in my brain. That
Stop, you're
was.
making me thirsty now.
Hey, me too. That was the good stuff. I mean, it was Peel's Light and Keystone. Hey, it's the can that makes it so refreshing. You
Uh,
know, the, remember these special cans in Keystone,
but you got to
and then
wait till you
Keystone.
get to Ponte Vedra.
Oh, 100%. Keystone, in an effort to please everyone, Keystone wasn't good enough. They had to come out with Keystone Light, and it was like what, $6 a case or something back then.
Yeah.
And then every now and then, I don't know, I'd find money or something on the ground, or my grandparents would send me, $10 in a birthday card, and I'd be like, we're getting Moosehead, we're getting Heineken tonight, and we'd buy a 6 pack, for like 8 of us. That was plenty.
Yeah.
It's fun. Well, until we turned 14, then it wasn't enough. But anyways, I digress.
Both my cousins have said, what is it going to feel like? Freddie and TC have said, what's it going to feel like if we lose to Canada? And it's the same feeling that
um,
we had, when we beat them. They had the feeling of that just totally sucked when they
yeah,
lost both gold medals to the United States. So they're
yeah.
going to be motivated to beat us
Oh
because
yeah,
it
hundred
is on a
percent,
world stage.
100%. The only argument I will make with that, yes, it would be an embarrassment, and Canada would love every minute of that.
Oh yeah.
But Canada beating the USA in the World Baseball Classic would not compare to the pain or the joy they felt in losing the gold medal in hockey to the USA. I
Oh,
think I don't think we're quite there. However, they don't get another chance to pay us back very often. This is their chance. So, oh yeah, don't get me wrong. They would love it. They would
we're
love every minute of it.
World Baseball Classic. Fox should thank us for this big promotional
It's huge,
segment. Yeah,
huge.
because I can't
Um,
wait till the USA plays Canada in baseball.
I'm looking up. You know what? It's kind of must watch TV at this point. Because hey, we made it. Because I was going to be so Disappointed is not the word. Just so frustrated if we did not make the quarters
Yeah,
in baseball. It would have just been so frustrating. But
yeah,
well, I'll tell you what. There's a lot going on in other areas of the sporting world too, and of course, we've been talking about the NFL, the off season.
yeah.
It's almost as interesting as the season. We got to start with a couple things, and I guess the biggest thing is what happened to the Raiders Ravens trade. Wow.
Tampering.
Yeah.
The Raiders counter-offered after the trade because a ticker this morning on the news said that Maxx Crosby has committed to the Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh,
Well,
of
wait a
course.
minute. I thought he got traded, but maybe he jumped back in the portal and got, big time offer, and he said, "Oh, I didn't get a text from the Raiders. I didn't, kind of like Clemson with Ole Miss, that saga."
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
sad part is, he Max may make more money if he was somehow able to enter the transfer portal and have some eligibility left in college. It's
I mean,
unbelievable.
he must have gotten a big NIL deal. That's all I know.
Yeah,
But
no kidding.
I'm not. I'm making fun of just the absurdity of it. Is the questions I have is, so his knee was hurt, but he was trying to say that he could play, but he never asked for a trade, and
Yeah,
I think he's happy. Do you think he's happy? He's going to stay there. They're going to sign him to a big contract.
maybe not. I don't know because listen, he's played this as perfectly as the player can. And by the way, so let's face it, the timeline. They agree to a deal on Friday, but don't forget, you can't finalize this trade. There's the legal tampering period before the actual day comes that you can actually sign players. So they agree to a deal. They can't sign anything official till Wednesday. On Tuesday, Baltimore backs out of it, citing failed physical, and they
Hmm.
cancel the trade. And then yesterday, of course, they officially get their 2 first-round picks back. Blah blah blah. Here's what I'm calling this. I'm calling this on the half of the Raiders, I guess. This is a uh, premature eject-a-legend. Okay, so
Okay.
the Raiders suffered from premature eject-a-legend. Yeah, so they kind of went a little too soon there, and got him back before things were done. I'm sure the Raiders were already counting their draft picks, but they're no longer there. And then the Ravens go out and sign another edge rusher. Obviously, not as good probably, but this thing just stinks, man. I've been reading article after article how the whole NFL is really pissed at the Ravens. Uh, that any logical person could see that Maxx Crosby would not have failed a physical. The doctor and others who weren't involved in the actual surgery said it was a minor surgery. He was way ahead of schedule on rehab and getting back to normal or top playability. So it's a head scratcher, and really what it comes down to is almost everyone thinks and agrees that DeRosa, the GM for the Ravens, who's been there 7 years, got cold feet, started looking at it and going, wait, what are we giving up here? Like they changed their mind, and you know maybe that's true, but it just stinks. It doesn't look good.
Yeah, and I think, you know what, Maxx Crosby staying there. He's a great defensive player. Keep building around the defense with Crosby, and that'll just be the end of the story. Maybe it's happened for a reason. He's an elite pass rusher. He's relentless. His motor. I love the guy. So continue to build around him, and of course, build around your offensive line to protect Fernando, and you're going to be fine.
Listen, I'm a big Raiders fan. I love Maxx Crosby. But I will tell you, I wish this deal happened for a couple of reasons. Number one, Max deserves to play for a winner that might be able to make a deep run in the playoffs or even a Super Bowl. Time's running out. The Raiders are still rebuilding. I don't see that happening this year. Number two, Maxx has started to miss a few games over the last couple seasons. Dinged up a couple times. He's not getting younger. Number three, the Raiders, you hate to give up something, very valuable, but that's what you have to give up to get something very valuable. And the Raiders could get more value out of a couple of high draft picks than Maxx Crosby right now. And, it's frustrating as a Raider fan to see this happen, not because Maxx is coming back, but because it looked like a really good deal for Las Vegas.
It did. Now watch what will happen with the Ravens. Trey Hendrickson is injury prone too. So there's no
Yeah.
guarantee, I'm surprised they didn't get cold feet about him too. So
Yeah, I know. Anyways, it's frustrating. Now, I don't know if this deal's probably dead, but I don't know if other teams wouldn't be interested in, signing Maxx. But yeah, think about Maxx Crosby too. This, failed physical, and maybe, I don't know what the criteria is for passing a physical. So I'm sure in the NFL it's pretty, tight. Qualifications are tight, parameters to fail or pass. But, you basically put damaged goods label on the back of Maxx Crosby's jersey. So that can't make him happy either. So, hey, listen, if he comes back or if he doesn't move anywhere else, I think he'll be, I think he'll play a little bit, more motivated than usual,
and
which
have
isn't
it
a bad thing.
and think about that, Maxx Crosby with a little extra chip on his shoulders, so things could turn out very, very well. It's
100%.
it's going to hurt not having those draft picks, though. I agree.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
point. So then the
Um,
Dolphins, you
yep.
know, they've always been aqua, coral, and white for their colors, and they are looking more and more like they are going to change the aqua to a little more green and the orange to a little more gold because Green Bay South has struck again, and the Dolphins have acquired Malik Willis. What are your thoughts on Malik Willis, Joe?
I think acquiring Malik Willis is a really good move if you're bringing him in as a backup. To give him a massive contract, and I say massive contract, not compared to what you gave Tua, which sets your franchise back 5 years, but a massive contract for a guy who has played 22 total games in 4 years. 22. His most recent games, four for Green Bay last year. Oh, in those 4 games, he was great. Love it. Completion percentage, 85%, 3 touchdowns, 145.5 rating in 4 games. Well, no offense. Ryan Leaf might have had that kind of a stat. I
Ooh,
mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, seriously, you're giving this guy the keys to the Ferrari. Well, I guess in the Dolphins case, the keys to the Impala, and he's got literally 11 games in his last two seasons. I don't know, not a big enough sample size for me at all. Because if you go back to the Tennessee days, I mean, come on, he was a QBR of 3.1 in 2023. No, seriously, I'm not joking. A QBR of 13.3 in 2022. So, was it the Green Bay environment or was it Willis? Was it a mix of both? Was Tennessee that toxic? Horrible
yeah.
to to make this your franchise starting quarterback.
It's to me, it's the obvious part. Going along with your point there, the obvious point as to why the Dolphins got him is stability, because John Eric Sullivan and Halfley have come from Green Bay down to South Florida, and they said we need to get somebody that knows our system, so we don't have to spend a whole lot of time on him. We're going to run that same offense that he started to play well in at the end of the year, and I like Quinn Ewers.
Yeah,
I
me
think this
too.
is going to be a big move for Quinn Ewers. Um, there's no guarantee that Ewers will not be the starter. And
No,
Malik Willis is the backup. That's better than any backup quarterback. Huh, Zach Wilson? Yikes. No thanks. I'd rather have
yeah,
Malik Willis as my reliever, you know? So,
yeah. Well, between the ones you mentioned, he probably has more experience. I don't know. I guess I'm a little tainted because of everything going on college football, and I can't help but translate some of that into the NFL.
yeah,
You give a guy was everyone banging down Green Bay's door to sign this guy? And I'm not saying there weren't three or four or five teams that were, seriously inquiring and throwing, opening a checkbook up. But
yeah,
are the Dolphins so desperate they got to give a guy with 22 games experience, and let's just get rid of half those because they were terrible. So who has a handful of really good games? That's your only baseline here to give him a $45 million guaranteed contract, 67 million overall. Like what the? That's
yeah,
it blows my mind that
yeah,
you're doing that. But hey, I
yeah.
guess you know who's your other. You want to bring Aaron Rodgers in here? You want to bring Kyle Murray in here? I'm not saying those are better choices, but damn,
Yeah. We'll have to see. I hope he does real well and we'll be able to get out some Dolphins merchandise that simply says, "What you talking about, Willis?"
that would be a good one. Listen, I mean this 100% sincerely. As a Dolphins fan, I would love to see him do well. And all you need sometimes is a fresh start. All you need sometimes is a new environment. And you're right, he's going with some familiar faces who obviously have seen him and hung around him and know him. So, they're the experts, not me. I
Yeah,
just don't see why the investment it's just the size of the investment is what I'm talking about, not picking on Willis or not hoping he doesn't do well. Just seems like a lot of money on a unknown.
yeah. I just hope the same. I hope he does well. That's all we can do.
Agreed.
Yep.
Well, I guess we'll find out. Listen, next episode there's a lot. I've got a list of 25 free agents here that are coming, going, gone, haven't gone yet.
Yep.
Travis Kelsey, people like that. There's other intriguing stories going on. The NCAA tournament's underway. We
Yeah.
could talk. We could talk for a long time about even the results so far. Congratulations, Florida State. Good luck with Duke.
Bah!
Next game, we'll see what happens. But on the women's side, UConn, if you didn't see their score against, I think it was Creighton, uh, look what UConn did to Creighton. Wow. Do we even need to play any games in the women's college basketball tournament? Why don't we just give the trophy to UConn right now? What's the star player's name? Sharon? Is it Stone? Like, oh man, she
Lights
may be
out.
the best. She may be the best player that UConn's had, and Sarah Strong. She may be the best player UConn's ever had, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
So, but we'll talk about that next time. So that's it for this episode of the Undrafted Armchair Quarterbacks with Jim and Joe. Thanks for checking us out and hanging with us for some real fan-driven sports talk.
Always enjoy it, Joe. And thanks, viewers, subscribers, for your comments and everything. Got a whole bunch of them just from the last show. We love it. We'll read them all. We bring them into future shows. Please hit like, subscribe, and join us every week for free on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, and TikTok. And we'll see you next time, everybody. You have a safe trip to Ponte Vedra for the TPC, Mr.
Yes,
Joseph the
sir.
Third.
Hit him straight. All right, man. Love you, bro. We'll see you, man. Talk
Love
to you
you.
soon. Take care.
Take care.